Hey everyone, I'm back after a really long time, but I'm not gonna blame the fact that I was at college because a lot of YouTubers who go to college are able to keep filming, but I blame myself for not making time for this. So there goes my first semester at college. As you guys can see, I'm back home now. So, from what I can say after my first semester is that college is a lot. That's the shortest way I can put it. It's a lot of stimuli at the same time, and it's from all different factors. You know, you're trying to balance your own life with your social life, your academic life, your everything. So, it's a lot at once, but I think that's what makes college so important. I think people have this misconception that college is for their career or for academics. I don't think that's true at all. Like, yes, it was really hard for me to keep up with all the exams and papers and work and such, but I don't think that was the most important thing at all. In fact, it was one of the least important things because it's more about learning about your own comfort zone and figuring out how to adapt and prioritize. So I can safely say that I did not do as well as I expected to this semester, but I also think I really grew as a person, and the lessons I've learned are more important than anything I learned from going to class. You know, I took care of myself, and I will continue learning to take better care of myself. 2016 was a short year to me. It was full of a lot, but because it was full of a lot, it flew by really quickly, especially since the beginning of 2016 was basically when I submitted all of my college apps. Well, besides the early ones, but it was submitting the last of them, and then it was getting rejected, waitlisted, accepted, finally choosing a college to spend my next stage of life at, graduating from high school. That's a huge step. I mean, I loved high school. And then finding a job over the summer, which was a lot of new stuff to experience as well. And then going through an entire first semester at college. And now I'm back, and now the year is ending. So, yeah, it did go by really quickly for me. But I really treasure the experiences I had this year. I learned a lot about myself, and I think I can only go up from there. I'm gonna tell you guys honestly right now that there was a point in this semester where I really did lose myself. And it honestly wasn't that long ago. I don't know how to describe it because no one really knew what was going on except me. And except for a few people that I told. And even then, like, it's hard for others to understand something like this. But there was a point in this semester where I had lost most of my motivation to do anything. I had lost a lot of passion, and I just didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was basically, I didn't feel myself attached to anything. I didn't understand, like, what the point of anything in my life was. And I felt myself feeling feelings that I never thought even existed inside of me. And I was harboring this very negative version of myself, and it sort of consumed me on the inside. And the thing that saved me from that brief but very lonely and dark stage of my life, the one thing that saved me was the realization of how genuine my friendships were. And that sounds super cliched, but let me break this down. I just suddenly had this realization that I am nobody's obligation, and I should never feel obligated to be there for anyone. I don't need anyone. Similarly, no one should ever need me. And this was a really important lesson I learned, because as many uncontrollable circumstances we might face, you should try to make a choice for yourself in as many living moments as possible. The people who you allow into your life, that should be your choice, just like how those people wanting to be a part of your life are making a choice to try to be a part of your life. And you should be making the choice for yourself whether or not you want to be there for someone, whether or not you want someone to be there for you. That's always a choice. And that's what saved me, because I realized that during this very negative period of my life, I wasn't really being a friend to my friends. I was doing a lot of complaining and sort of dumping my own problems on other people. And at the end, I would apologize for doing that. I would be like, sorry for making you listen to all of this and stuff. But looking back, I knew that that negative version of myself didn't really understand how to apologize like that. And it made me sad looking back on it, because I realized that despite how much negative energy I brought, despite how much I was dragging others down, people still said, you know, Jessie, it's okay. Like, I'm here for you. I'm here to listen for you. Like, I believe in you. Like, you can tell me. And these people used so much of their time because they cared, even though I wasn't appreciating it the right way. And that's when I realized it. That's when I saved myself. It just hit me like one morning, and I was like, wait, as patient as some of my friends are, everyone has a limit. And that's a limit that I should never try to go past. Because once you go past that limit, it's over. Your friend is long gone by then. There's no turning back by the time you reach that limit, because it's a limit. And this is even more significant for people who have been patient for you, because to have their patience completely ignored and to go past what they can take from you, you're going to lose someone who is ready to try so hard for you. And that's how I realized it. These friends were there for me, and I was just not helping myself as a person. And now that I've become more secure, and now that I've reached the other side of things, and I can look back on my past self and think about my actions, I realize how truly frustrating that is when you try to help someone, when you try to offer them support, when you try to be there for someone, but they're not doing it for themselves. Like, as much support as you give them, you in the end cannot help someone else. The closest thing to help that you can offer to someone else is support. And that's what these friends were doing for me. And I wasn't helping myself. In the end, the only one who can truly help yourself is yourself. And that's why I had to save myself. And I did it because I realized I had one motivation left in life. And that motivation was I couldn't lose my friends. Like, there was no way that I wanted to lose these people who had gone to such lengths to try for me, who had supported me despite the fact that I had forgotten to be their friend back, that they were so giving, and here I was being very negative and not being their friend, and instead growing dependent on their willingness to be patient. And when I realized that, it all clicked together. That was my motivation, and I had to pick myself up before I lost people who were really important to me. People don't need to be there for me, just like I don't need to be there for anyone. My friends were being generous by making the choice to try to help me because they believed that I would get better. And they told me that. I remember one of them said, "Jessie, like, I'm here for you because I believe there is a light at the end of this tunnel." As cliched as that sounds, it meant a lot that there were people that believed I could pull myself out of this. And they were making the choice. They were using their time because they believed in me. And they didn't have to be there for me. I would have understood if they had left. Maybe not during that stage. I think like during that negative stage of my life. If they had left me, I would have resented them for normal reasons because I didn't even realize that I wasn't being their friend, that I was dragging them down. If they had left me then, it would have been justified, but to the me back then, I would have never understood it, and I would have resented them for it. But because I have become stronger and more understanding of these truths, I realized that if they had left, after a while, after realizing, I would have understood why they left, because it's hard to be there for someone who doesn't want to be there for themselves. It's really hard. And that's why I am so thankful that nobody left, because if I were in that situation, I might have left, because once again, you are never obligated to stay in other people's lives, just like how nobody is obligated to stay in yours. And I'm really grateful for that, especially since I feel more secure and independent and stronger now. I feel strong enough to properly appreciate the people that I want to appreciate, to give to the people that I want to give to. And it just so happens that a lot of those people are the people that were willing to give themselves to me while I was in a state that I am not proud of. And this applies to all of you watching this video right now, because YouTube is an outlet for me, and I never force you guys to listen to me. Every time you guys watch this video, any video, like every second you watch was a choice you made. Like, that's a choice you made because you believed that watching this would be beneficial in some way, worthwhile in some way. And although I cannot guarantee the worthwhileness of my videos, you guys still are generous enough to give me your time, to spend time on me, to believe in me even when you don't need to, and for that I am super grateful. And that's the most important lesson that I learned this year. And I'm happy that I learned it because I lost myself and I came back even better than before. And I can say that for certain because no one knows myself better than I do. Thank you guys for listening. I will try to see you guys soon. I can't promise anything, but thank you guys for believing in me.